Hello, this is First Fire Non-Assault Move. Welcome back to the 5th video in the War in the East series. This is the 3rd week in the war, and when we last left off, we executed the Soviets' turn, and they continued the retreat east. And prior to us ending the turn, we had not made much contact with the Soviets because they had started the retreat, and there wasn't much combat to show that we put on video. I did almost all of the moves off camera, and I think this video is going to be similar to that. We'll cover some of the pocket attacks in Army Group Center's area of operations, and I will put on video anything significant that happens during the moves, but I'm not expecting anything to be much different from the last turn. A lot of moving east, pursuing, fighting isolated Soviet formations here and there across the front. And that's going to be about it for this turn. But anything exciting, we'll make sure we have it on video. So let's jump right in and start talking about the objectives for each of the army groups. Army Group South will continue to have Riga as its objective. We'd like to expand our bridgehead over the Daugava to free up the 56 Panzer Corps to press on eastward and northward. Don't have anyone in front of them to fight right now, but we want to get this infantry over the river to protect the flanks and to widen our crossing here to get more areas, more of these hexes under our control, and get these railroad hexes under our control, because that's going to be critical for supply. So the southernmost boundary of Army Group North will continue to move in an easterly direction, securing all these little towns and crossing the rivers as we get there and fighting off Soviets when we confront them. Most of the action, I predict, will be with Army Group Center. We want to, as efficiently, destroy the Soviet formations in the pocket so that we don't tie down our infantry for too long, eliminating the Soviets. So that will allow, again, our Panzer Corps some freedom of maneuver to continue the attack and press on in their area of operations. So we'll see how that goes. Our Panzer Corps that have assembled and assembled it around Minsk and taken it, and then we also secured a little crossing over the Berezina. So their objective is to press forward, but I think we're going to be a little constrained waiting for our infantry to catch up, because we don't want to stick our neck out too far, because we're quickly going to find out that Soviets are starting to assemble their reserves and Russian forces to start putting up a stiffer resistance, and their front is going to solidify. So south and east of Minsk, we'll probably commit one Panzer Corps along this rail line and establish a river crossing here, a little bridgehead here, so that we'll have the breadth of the Berezina River crossed by the end of this turn. More than likely, we won't get infantry too close. There'll still be some distance away to support the panzer divisions, but we got to make sure we can at least cleanly get across this river. And then, depending on the outlook and what we encounter across the Berezina, we'll press on for Mogilev. So moving south, we had such a great turn last turn. Army Group South did a great job achieving all of its objectives. We took Zitomir, Vinnytsia, Rovno, Proskorov, and Tarnopol. That was great. We're stretched thin. The Panzer Corps really used every ounce of their movement and attack. Well, not really attack. It was almost all movement. We pushed aside a few Soviet formations, but it was nothing major. So they will continue to widen and deepen our breakthrough. There's half a dozen really significant cities to take before we even cross the Dnieper. So we're not going to get all that done this turn, but we're going to continue as far as we can and get as close as the Dnieper as we can this turn. No real encirclements stand out right now. There's really no contact being made except this single mechanized division of the Soviets. And similar to the pocket in Army Group Center, I don't want to waste resources trying to snare whatever divisions are going to be fleeing east. The net value, it's not worth the effort to destroy these formations as it is to support the Panzer divisions moving as far as they can towards the Dnieper. And it's going to make us even more strung out, but this will resolve itself in the next 2 or 3 turns because finally the Romanians are released to attack. They're going to be very limited in what they can do, but having their presence available to us in the next couple of turns to cover weaker portions of the front, so that will free up our powerful, the German infantry divisions are really powerful, and as the front widens and we press on the attack, the Germans will quickly find out that those infantry divisions are limited. We don't have that many, and they have a huge task ahead of them, just as much as the Panzer divisions do. So having the Romanians in the mix is going to be a big help. So those are the quick objectives for each of the army groups outlined. I will start to do the moves off camera, and I will come back to capture these attacks in Army Group Center. We'll make sure we cover that because that's going to be pretty interesting. See what we can do here as efficiently as we can. All right, I'll leave it at that. I'm going to step aside, start the moves, and I will be back. Well, I'm back a little quicker than anticipated because if you remember last video, I mentioned I had forgot to do recon missions. We clicked this button, clicked AI, and the AI conducted a whole bunch of aerial recon missions. So what I was telling you, I just point this out before I start my moves. What I was warning is that we might not have seen them at the beginning of this turn because we didn't do any recon, but photos coming back and reports from our pilots, a little bit ominous. We predicted this already. Soviets are massing their formations around, key terrain, Leningrad obviously, and they're starting to push them to the front. Oh, that is Pskov. Let me check. Yep, Pskov, already massing units around Pskov, and they're going to start branching out, starting to defend the rivers. And you can see they're already starting to establish a front that we are going to butt heads against pretty soon. So yeah, look at that. That's Vitebsk, is it? Yep, Vitebsk. Right outside of Smolensk. And yeah, they are establishing their defense over the Dnieper. Great. So much for expecting to cross the Dnieper in the near future. So it's going to take a while to get the infantry up because we're really not going to be able to bust out here with just a few Panzer Corps against this. So yeah, not unexpected. It looked really good before I did the recon. Feeling optimistic. Going south, oh boy, you can see they're already. Oop, I apologize. Let me click on a hex here and center. Mogliev coming down, and there's Kiev The Soviets that were out throughout here have retreated as fast as they can. I think we're catching them much better than Army Group North and Army Group Center is, due to the fact that we have 3 extra Panzer Corps to support Army Group South. So we're going to catch up to them and hopefully defeat them in detail where we can before they can get a solid line of resistance before the Dnieper and behind it. East and west of the Dnieper they will defend. So, a lot to think about now as I do my moves, these considerations, but I'm not going to change my objectives. I think they will all stand pat. Just wanted to show you that, and I'm going to get back to the moves. Okay, so we did a bunch of moves with Army Group North and some units from Army Group Center. I wanted to come back on camera here and show you some really good results I had with the 5th Infantry Corps. They were up here, the divisions were up here, and there were about 6 to 8 Soviet formations in this area, if you remember, before we started our moves and our attacks. So 5th Corps moved down, attacked multiple times. These 2 divisions here attacked multiple times, and against a couple stacks even, and there was only one retreat and the rest were routs and surrenders. I think maybe all of them were surrenders. So that was a great result. It completely freed up our Panzer Corps here. Great freedom of maneuver now because the Soviet formations were within here, and we moved in, and they were blocking some of the movement of. We have here the 37th Panzer Corps. So that was a great result. So let's continue the pocket compression. So my thinking is to move out of contact as much as our infantry as possible, and move in some of our divisions here that are taking up the rear here. Move them in, compress, maybe not attack all of them this turn, but take out as many as we can. And we achieved that really well with just one infantry corps here. So what are we going to do? Looking at this is 33rd Corps, and they have 1, 2, 3 infantry divisions under its command. It looks like there's something else here, but that's just a sister corps. Okay, so we're definitely not going to move these divisions back to the attack, so they are going to go eastbound. So we're going to clear this corps out of consideration for anything to do with the pocket, and we are going to move. We don't have anyone to hold Minsk right now because, yeah, okay, that's what I did. That's what I was thinking. I was saving this corps here with these 2 divisions to occupy Minsk and move as far forward. So we can do that now. Or I could disengage and rotate these divisions forward and come down and attack with these 2. But I think they're in a better position to move east and occupy. So we're going to do that. So we'll take this one, come all the way here, and that's great. Just made it. So we at least have someone covering Minsk, and we'll move the headquarters here as well. And we're going to move as far east as we can with this Polizei SS Infantry Division. Maybe come down here. Yeah. Well, actually, we'll stay north because we can get a little farther. We can actually get across the river, and we'll be with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. we'll stay right there. Alright, so that's good. They are out of consideration. We are going to go as far east as we can, right straight down this railroad, due east. Keep moving on. Alright, that was what we thought might have been some Soviet forces. We can only go that far. Again, this is just marching. Putting your heads down, rucking forward. I could have kept that division moving along the periphery of the swamp, but we're gonna commit this infantry corps to support the river crossing over the Berezina. Okay, so we got them out of the way, and we got that corps out of the way, so we're kind of trimming down the forces we're going to use to attack the Soviets in the pocket. I think this is a good candidate to conduct the attacks, the 32nd Corps, because this is the interesting one that has some of its two of its infantry divisions broken down into regiments. So let's try one attack with just one division. We'll do a dedicated attack here and see what result we get. Alright, all of them surrendered. So they were feeling the effects of being reduced supply, reduced command and control, and they had been, I don't think I attacked too much these pocket troops, but they were feeling the pressure, low morale more than likely. So that was great. All we needed was to attack with one of our own divisions to achieve that. This corps is kind of stretched. Oh, actually, no, it's this corps, and they only have 2 divisions, so I'm going to pull them out. They are going to go due east, so I'm going to pull him out. And we're going to go as far forward as we can. Right here. And wow, that's great. They can get all the way up here. It's a little fragmented, our front, and not the greatest cohesion, but again, we're just trying to move east as far as we can, as fast as we can right now. Well, there is clear ground in front of us, and as we saw with our recon, not too far east, the Soviets are starting to assemble their forces and conduct a defense in front of us. Alright. So we moved these guys as far as we could. And so where's the core? There's your core. There's our core. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll leave them with these guys here. And I did move them. Okay, so they're done. No one in there. It belongs to that infantry corps we just moved. Alright, so we're getting down to some a few forces here, and alright, we will attack. Well, actually, no, we're gonna come down. We'll all be attacking across the river. Let's do one dedicated. It'll take up some of its movement for this week. Alright, more surrenders. That's great. So with that in mind, we are going to move east with our remaining abilities this turn, and we're not going to attack with this division. We'll move them due east as well. And this is 12th Corps, and that's 12th Corps as well. So yeah, we're just going to break contact and go... we'll end here, so that will get us across the river. We won't expend any movement points to go over the river next turn. And I already have a corps down here going south, and these troops are going to disengage and cover the northern perimeter of the Pripyat. So we are going to disengage. Okay, I lost my train of thought. Where were we? Okay, we're up here. And your headquarters is right there. Okay, so who do we have left? Let's start attacking with... Are we going to attack with them? Who can pick up the slack here? We could move this division up and over and attack. So next turn we'll polish these guys off. I think that's what we'll do. And that is 32nd Corps. That massive corps, at least troop-wise. Oh, we got a security here as well. There's 32nd Corps headquarters. Oh, do I just devote that entire corps to mopping up? Because they're positioned here. Oh, okay. We got some 8th Corps. Okay. We got some that is not. Oh, we have a 12th Corps. Where's 12th Corps? Oh, 12th Corps is in there? No. Okay, the 32nd. This is the only. This regiment is the only formation that is the 32nd Corps. Okay, cool. All right, so great. We will start moving 8th Corps due east. Just taking a little bit to untangle these infantry corps as they kind of got mingled, moving east as fast as they could and shifting around the pocket. So a little disorganized, but that's all right. Ooh, look at that. We can get this far. That is amazing. That is amazing. They are marching their tails off. You know, there's variations on how what you would think is in two very similar infantry divisions, but it could be the leader that has some qualities that will improve its movement, which we can look at some point, which I would like to look at some point. Okay, we're looking at 8th Corps. There's another division. It's 8th Corps. We can get up to there. And we can position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't want to leave a corps alone. Here's the headquarters. Great. Alright. As we move our own divisions away, we can... it looks like, you know, the pocket's even tinier now, because a lot of the units built up here were our own. That's good. Alright. Continue to move. That is the 32nd Corps. And this is 10th Corps. Alright, continuing on. Don't want to... Alright, we're gonna kind of get a log jam here, it looks like, with the crossing of the Veritsina, because as we look down here, we still haven't even touched our panzer divisions and our motorized divisions, and we have to have a place for them to go. But this is looking good. Our infantry is going to be closer than I anticipated them to be with our panzers. So yeah, let's do it. Right, so we can expand. We can break out and start widening instead of bunching, but let's just get them forward. Get them over the river. We're as close to going over the river as possible. I didn't mean to do that. I forgot to deselect, but that's alright. I was going to move them there anyways. Alright. Very good. Yeah, these guys had attacked. So yeah, these guys, they were doing the great job I was talking about. Alright. That is good. Take a step back. Look what we got left. Alright. This... Ooh. I just moved till... Okay, yeah, I forgot to move these guys. I got sidetracked a little. Alright, just move them due east. Very good. Holy smokes, that's a big corps. How many divisions does it have under its command and control? Let's check that out. I'm thinking 4 or 5. 4. Yeah, great. Alright. What do we have left to polish off? The Soviets here. Alright, let's start doing some attacks. I hate to bring this regiment back, but it's only a regiment, and this will eliminate some of the places that the Soviets can retreat. So, which would make them more likely to surrender. We'll do a hasty. Yeah, surrendered. Fantastic. We're going to be attacking over a minor river here, so odds won't be that great. But I think these Soviets are in a bad shape, so we're going to hasty. Okay, alright. Well, that's alright. We got to do this. Retreated. Where though? Where the hell did they retreat to? I didn't see them move into this hex or this hex. Did they move into here? Maybe. Come down further. They are out of movement. So we'll move one of these regiments. We'll try to maximize economy here. Yeah, I don't want to attack over with a river with just a regiment. That'd be kind of silly. But we're gonna go for it. They held. All right, getting a little greedy. That's all right. That's all right. We still have a fresh division here. We'll move down and dedicate across the minor river. That should be enough to do it. Oh boy. Yep. They're not having it. 36th Cavalry Division and 56th Rifle Division are holding out. Surrounded, watching their fellows surrender right and left. They are holding out. And we have exhausted our attacking capability. Okay. Not going as well as the other one. But we still have movement to do. Bring down a couple regiments. Tighten the noose. Who is your... Alright. We still have another fresh full division from 32nd. We could move here and attack. Let's see. Well, let's move you forward. See what there is there. Ah, boy. Alright. This is where they're all hanging out. Just get you closer to your headquarters. And you'll come here. Let's do it. Dedicated. retreated. Yeah, I should have. I misplayed that. That was bad. I needed to move you up so that you had less chance to retreat. Don't need to attack. No, I'm not going to squander manpower there. It's not going as smooth as I would like, but nonetheless, we'll get it done. And so we'll be tying up at least 1, 2, 3, probably about 3 infantry corps will be dedicated to finishing off these Soviets on week 4, which isn't the worst. I wanted to do more damage with less, but hey, the Russians have a say in this too. Alright, so you're fresh. You are fresh as well. Plan is to attack up in here, and that'll give us an option to attack any of these 4 hexes. I think we're going to do a hasty. Alright, excellent. Surrendered. Good to go. Alright, we're gonna attack south. Oh, yeah, I expended. Wow. Give them credit. They lost 700 men, we only lost 60, but they're holding strong. Alright, 3 surrenders, I'll take that. Ooh, 2 tank divisions, 736 AFVs, armored fighting vehicles, were either captured or destroyed in that attack. That's great. I think we are... Yeah, these guys have all done what they could, as did that division. Alright. He's fresh. We'll dedicate just to make sure. Surrendered. Fantastic. Was that 11,000? Or 1,100? Dedicate. Oh, can't. We'll do hasty. Whoa! Finally! Finally! Like an example of the, I think, turn 1, where there were multiple attacks against 1 Soviet division, and they just hung out to the last man, to the last bullet. And that was an example there. Do I do... Yeah, I don't. We'll do a dedicated with a fresh division. Alright, excellent. Excellent. It's looking a little better. Can only do a hasty there. Can do a dedicated here. Excellent. 252 artillery pieces. Very good. Very good. What's this Bubba doing? Being annoying. I don't want him to move down, because if he moves down adjacent, then we're going to lose these railroad engineers. These are the autopilot ones, and they'll go back to the division, and we'll lose a turn of rail repairs for them to reset, and I don't want that. So we'll try to make you retreat backwards. Oh, even better. Surrender. Great. Do I have anyone else to block him from going north if he's going to be a pain? Well, we need swamp walkers. I'm not sure if this corps will be the one to go through the Pripyat, because right now I only have this corps to do it. So we'll bring corps headquarters there, so everyone's in command and control. Wow, we have a fresh. We'll move them here since you'll be able to attack either or. We'll do a dedicated attack. They may retreat. Ooh, surrender. Another 345 tanks. Over 1,000 tanks, or AFEs, taken out this turn. Wonderful. So the pocket is largely eliminated. We may be able to completely free up all of this infantry for the next turn if we can take care of this stack. Ooh, I can dedicate. There they go. Another 300 artillery pieces. 19,209 men out of the picture in this war in the East. All right, excellent. They did yeoman's work. This infantry is kicking ass. Oh crap! He's gonna be out of command and control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, he's good. There's no threat that Soviets gonna go north. They're gonna go south. I mean east. Due east. This 42nd Rifle Division's being a pip. All right, that's everyone. Do I have anybody that can complete the destruction of the pocket? No, it's going to be next turn, and we will allow. We're only going to be tying up one. After all that, we'll only be tying up one corps to finish off these 3 formations, and that's great. We'll have the 7th Corps and 53rd Corps freed up to move. And we didn't even move. These guys did. Oh, wow. Look at that. We have 9th Corps. Alright. We got to start clearing some swampland. It's got to happen eventually. So I might as well start now. Start trying to clear rail hexes as far as we can go. Why is he out of command and control? Oh, was he from a different... No, he's the 9th. Oh, I bet there's constraints because all of this is swamp, even though there's rail, because he's well within 5. Huh. Because that's the 9th, and that is the 9th Corps. I'm seeing that, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, that's that. I will continue the other moves off camera. We'll be moving on to Army Group South. I don't believe I'll be attacking with any of these Panzer Corps. Very limited. Because, well, we'll see. We'll come back to camera if we start seeing something interesting develop through this area around Mogliev with the 3 Panzer Corps that we have yet to move. Excellent. Very good. And I'll catch you in a little bit. Okay, all moves completed. All attacks completed. And wasn't the best. I'll show you what happened. Army Group North, we just had that sole Panzer Corps here. They just moved up, advancing a little bit more, staying within, not extending too much from the trailing infantry behind them. We saw the pocket and the removal of almost all of the Soviet divisions in here. That's what it's looking like. We got that one corps that will finish them off. And these infantry divisions will also start to move east. Doing a lot of catch-up. Moved as far as east as we could with all of these divisions. Do I sound defeated? No, but okay, so good news. We cut Mogliev. But now that we're looking at our panzer divisions, oh boy. Sorry, a little bit of an interruption there. So we really felt the effects of lack of fuel. The combat power of our panzer divisions and our motorized divisions were greatly affected by a lack of fuel. So the results of some of the attacks that we made, particularly in Army Group South, were not very good. So what was good, we got fully across the Berezina and the Drut River. We took Mogliev. We took it because it was unoccupied. So now we're up against the Dnieper. And this is where the fun starts, and it gets a lot harder for the Germans. Just look at all these Soviet divisions lined up to defend. And if each of these Soviet divisions defend as well as some of the divisions that we fought in the south just now, we're in for a lot of trouble. So we'll move down. We got the southern portion of Army Group South, where it doesn't look as an imposing defense right now. So here's where we may achieve our more than likely our ability to cross the Dnieper and attack, but it takes an enormous amount of movement and combat power to attack over a major river. So it's going to be a slog, 2 or 3 turns at the least to get across and make a river crossing across the Dnieper here. And what's a little scary is that we had more progress, or as good a progress, with Army Group North and Army Group Center so far, with having stripped Panzer Corps from them. But it's not all doom and gloom. Let's scroll, let's zoom out and get a greater picture of where we're at right now in Army Group South, which is really where we're going to win this war in the East, by my reckoning. We didn't get much farther across. We didn't get much farther from where we were last turn. That is almost 100% due to the fact that all our panzer divisions were hurting severely with fuel, and they didn't have nearly the combat power they did a couple turns ago. So this Soviet division held out, I don't know how many attacks, at least two dedicated and a hasty, and still it stood, holding Kazatin, the little town of Kazatin. Heroic defense there with 134th Rifle Division. And here it took a lot to just budge these Soviet divisions here. We did some damage and we took a toll on all of these rifle divisions, but they didn't move far, and it took numerous attacks just to get them moved back. And the LAH did not attack. It primarily moved. Alright, back from a little interruption. So, this is where we stand at the end of the turn. I have completed all the moves, and Army Group South ran out of steam. We're going to have to get some fuel to have that combat power necessary to start destroying these formations, not just making them retreat and not having them hold against our attacks. One little bit of good news. If we click here, come down, we now have friendly controlled hexes that will cut the supply for all these Soviet formations that are left in here. And I don't think there's very much. They're going to pull back most likely and start to retreat. And did I talk about the Romanians? Well, I'll talk about them again. Like I said, they weren't going to do very much on this first turn. Just very limited, localized attacks. Some of these divisions held out here and here, and I stopped bothering to even attack them and just move through the gaps and continue to push east to link up with the German divisions of Army Group South, which it's going to start forming a front in the next couple of turns. That's about where we're at. Oh, one thing that was pretty cool. You see here, these are representative of airfields. I must have overrun, probably about half a dozen, maybe more. And I secured a whole bunch of fuel from the act of overrunning them. So that represents that they saw incoming land forces and they took off and left their airfields, airstrips to be captured. So that was good. And that's going to cause them to reset and have to fly, find a new air base, and that disrupts them for a little bit of time. I'm not exactly sure for how long, but it's good for us, bad for them. Alright, so I'm going to end this video with the Soviets' turn, and I have that terrible feeling I forgot something, but I don't think I did. I'm not going to attack here. I'm just going to... Oh yeah, these two divisions held out. I don't know how many attacks from this entire infantry corps. They're being a real pain in our rear because they are way back here and our panzers are way out here. And our infantry is stretched very thin. But once this is mopped up, that's going to free up a whole lot of our forces to start forming our front. So it's a bit helter-skelter right now with formations all over the place, trying to get the job done, and it'll start to coalesce more in the next couple of turns. So let's I'm not sure if I want to do it. Where should we focus on? Let's see what happens here, because this is what has me a little bit worried. There's a strong chance they're going to attack against the 57th Panzer Corps. We'll see if that happens. I don't think they'll attack Mongolia, but I think this is where they have the greatest odds, and they figure they're going to have a good result and push us back, cause some casualties to us. Alright, here goes. End turn. Yes. Let's see what happens. Flying some... Oh, it looks like they're flying some airdrops, supply drops, because that was during the logistics phase. Oh, one thing I'm going to have to do as well is start staging my aircraft closer to the front so that I have the best air support I can have. There. Here the Soviets are pulling back. Yeah, our fields are far away from the lead elements of Army Group South, so I'm gonna have to do that, and it's just nug work, but it has to get done. Oh, they moved around. Look at that. Retreated. Wow, very aggressive. All right, that's how it's gonna be. We may have to redirect the Panzer Division south of that attack against us, and maybe try for an encirclement. Alright, so they didn't attack in Army Group Center, but they did that attack in Army Group South against that one Panzer Division, and you saw how much they massed against it, and maybe we can get a localized encirclement on those guys in the next turn. We'll see how it shapes up. So this will be the end of turn. We'll be starting turn 4 for the next video. Well, take a quick snapshot of losses. This turn, we should have destroyed a lot of Soviet AFVs, mostly coming out of the pocket. Well, that is player current turn. Oh, that... See, this doesn't seem correct to me. Because we saw that we caused at least over 1,000 AFV losses to the Soviets last turn, and it's only showing 120. Maybe I'm not reading this right. We're close to 4,000 total AFE losses for the Soviets. I don't know why that is so low. Because at least one of the attacks against 2 Soviet tank divisions, a stack of 3 total formations, they lost over 700 AFEs. What is happening here? We lost 113, and that's not insignificant. That's a pretty heavy toll, since mostly we're advancing. So that shows that attacking with low fuel, not advantageous, and we suffered more than we should have. Alright, I gotta figure out what is going on, but I'll get back to you on why current turn is so low for AFV. Axis since your last turn. Axis turn. Soviet turn. Huh. That doesn't add up. Okay, won't belabor that, but thank you for watching, and we will continue our war in the East and hopefully have better results in Army Group South and see what we can do in Army Group Center now that we took Mogliev and we are up against the Dnieper. And what are we going to do with all these tanks that are suffering for fuel? God, look at that. We're starting the new turn with only 35%, 45%, 31%, 63%. We have the option to have them ready, and then you can also do refit in reserve. So we may start to think about already refitting, because we have traveled an immense distance and we have burned a whole bunch of fuel, and that will take them out of action for a turn, but we'll recover a lot more. We'll get some replacements in, fixed damaged vehicles, and build up a little bit of a fuel supply, because you weigh the options of continuing to attack with low supply and having very, very poor results versus not attacking at all and having no results, but the next turn being in a much better position to attack, better supplied, and having a little bit of rest. So we'll think about that. But okay, we'll cut it here, and thanks again for watching. This is First Fire Non-Assault Move out.